I'm having another session of talking with myself, and I got emotional just now because I watched a video about a couple, and I don't know them. It's my very first time seeing them, and they had a segment where the woman in the couple is talking about finding her light, and her partner is reaffirming that and going, you do manifest, you do that stuff, you do this, you do that. And she was like, yeah, I get everything I want. I get everything I want. And her partner saying, I just found my light. And she's just pouring into him from her light, not from the excess of her light. She's not depleting her light to light him. He had to go out to find his own light. He had to find his own way. And she's like, baby, you do have your light. I see it. You get whatever you want. Can't nobody mess with you. And that's beautiful. And that's what I want. That's what I deserve. And deeper than that, I found my light this year. I found myself creatively, financially, emotionally, sexually, physically, mentally, spiritually, metaphysically, ancestrally. I found my light. I found my light. And can't nobody take it from me. I woke up this morning. I think I was falling asleep thinking about it, but I woke up this morning diving into it even more. I know I was talking about it yesterday. Um, the relationship I have with money and how that falls into the relationship I have with other people, how I see myself, and relationships especially as well. How finding what I thought I wanted or what I thought was the healthier option and watching other people. My mother had money, so I didn't want to have money because I thought that if you had money, you had to be like her. So I didn't want to be like her. So I chose to not have money. I looked at these faded, horrible relationships that my female cousins had with these ain't shit men and thought, if these wonderful people could have a relationship and they're going through this must be the norm. This must be regular. This must be what I need to aspire to, and this must be what I need to accept. So yeah, somebody beating on you, somebody cussing you out, somebody treating you like garbage, somebody telling you that you ain't anything, somebody going out of their way every single day to humble you. That must be love because at least they have somebody. And those two things formed my foundation of what I think I deserve, what I thought I deserved. I remember throwing money away, or giving money away, I should say. Somebody gave me like, I think I found like $5 or something. I was in elementary school. And I found like $5. And I was still very heavily churched. So I believed that thought process of money being the root of all evil. So unconsciously, I'm experiencing and seeing how my mom is treating me, how she's treating other people, the person she has become. And I'm like, this is money's fault. This is what money does to you. So I remember I had that $5, and I had like three friends around me, and I threw the money and was like, I don't care about money. And those three friends fought each other for that $5 bill. And I walked away. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm being what the church wants me to be like. I'm being Christ-like. I'm being rightfully, I don't know, rightfully connected. I'm being better or something. And not even on nothing with ego. It had to do with there's no other way out. If this is like this, then the only way out is the exact opposite. If my mother is going through all this stuff with my dad because he's not around, and he's treating her this way, unbeknownst to me, everything that he was actually saying and doing to her. Watching my cousins have the very effed up relationship they have with their exes and partners, former partners, all those sort of things, was, this must be what the opposite of that is. Because at least that person's around, at least that person's in the home, at least when they argue, they come back together, and they're not dismissive, they're not passive aggressive, they're not doing the silent treatment, and they're not putting, at least what I thought, kids in the middle of it to try to decipher what the adults are saying. So that influenced my relationship with money and with relationships, with partnerships. And as I'm still finding all facets of my life and uncovering, because I have the full light now, and it'll just keep ballooning, it'll keep getting bigger and brighter from here. Like, I feel my belly is getting warm as I'm saying that, uncovering the facets of that light and having a shine on these things that were once too dark to see because it didn't make enough sense. It wasn't flowing the way I thought it should. It wasn't making sense the way I thought it should. Like, all like that sort of thing. It now feels like, okay, I got it all wrong. I got it all wrong. And this is the machinations of a child. I wasn't an adult. This is a kid's thinking. If this thing is bad, opposite must be good. That's a kid's thinking. And I carried that into adulthood, trying to make it fit. And there were so many instances where it didn't fit. I also see now more than ever, the kid that went through all that, the woman that went through all that, the teenager, the young woman, the woman that I am now, that went through all that, didn't go through all that because she just was like there were moments, absolutely, of stubbornness, and you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to think, you can't whatever. But there were also instances of like, I have no other choice. I don't know what else to do. And now I'm looking at this person and going, not only did she do what she did because she thought this was the right way, she had to exist in all her mistakes and all her flaws and everything that she was becoming. She had to exist for me to get to who I am now. So even in forgiveness of her not knowing any better, legitimately not knowing any better, it was intentional, the ways in which I was denied truth on stuff. Because I would ask too many questions after. Wait, what? Why? And like that. That's who I am. I need to know why. What do you mean? Why is he doing that? Why did he say that? Why is he talking like that? Why did she say that? Why did he say that? Like that. I've always felt that way about things. I've always tried to navigate life through that. Why? What is the why behind this? I see the what, I see the when. I'm trying to understand the how. I see, okay, I see that. Why though? Why was this your choice? Why was this the decision? Why was this the heal? And healing my relationship with money and with partnership has unfolded by me accepting and realizing what I believed was what I believed, and I can let it go now. This isn't an instance where I have to go back and fight it and make sense of it. And, well, this is this because this is this. This is just an instance of you going, that's what we thought. We now know that that's not true. We can believe differently now. You have evidence of believing differently is way more worth it. You have evidence that these things are not actually true versus the belief that, oh, if black is white, then white must be black. You have evidence now saying, no, there's also gray and all these other colors that exist on the spectrum. So, no, it doesn't always have to be this specific way. You don't have to do the opposite of a thing that you don't like. You can just go off and do something else. You can just decide, that's not for me. And that's the full answer. You don't have to go slay the dragon of this mindset. It could just be what it is. That's what we thought. That's what we were taught. And we thought it was true. We have now realized it is very much not. So we don't have to continue to believe it, to try to trick our brain into thinking something opposite. We can just accept it for what it was. Thank you for the lessons, I guess, and just move on, because the light that's here now has brightened so much stuff around it that pretending or keeping up with, okay, but this is what I believe, and this is this, and this is this, and how do I do this? We just walk a different way. We just believe a different way now. We just accept the fact that, you know what, the relationship I had with money, the relationship I built with money was not built on anything solid. It wasn't built on anything true. It wasn't built on anything healthy. But you have evidence of what a healthy relationship with money looks like. An abundant, a deserving, a worthy relationship with money looks like. You have evidence of that now. So go with the evidence and stop holding on to the belief because you want to get to the bottom of it. You know what the bottom is. You know what it is. And even in the ways in which you don't know what it is, you don't have to continue to try to figure it out. You could just go a different direction. You would just think differently. You don't have to hold yourself in this one holding pattern to feel like you have finally figured it out and now you can move forward. You can just move forward. And the exact same thing goes with partnerships. You don't deserve abuse. You don't deserve people dipping in and out of your life. You don't deserve having someone humble you because they don't understand or believe in you. So they gotta break you down to their tiny mindset. And you know what it feels like to try to break something down into your tiny mindset at the time. And how that did more damage to you than it did to the mindset. So let other people do their own damage to themselves and you move on. And you don't put yourself in a box to feel as if this is the only way that I can be worthy. If I'm too much for you, you are not my container. And you are not my container because nothing can contain me. You are not here to tell me all the ways in which I'm not enough. And I'm supposed to listen to you. No. So the same way that I thought that I had to just grin and bear it, I had to just suffer, I had to tarry, I had to just go through stuff, and that will prove to this person that I'm worthy of being loved, is bull. It's a mindset that we held on to because that is what we witnessed. And even in witnessing that, even though these were people that we believed in and we loved and we put on these pedestals, they were suffering as well and pretending that they were okay. Everybody was lying to each other, including themselves. So that way of thinking is not mine anymore, and I do not need to continue owning it. It was built on law. It was built on lies. It was built on quicksand. It was built on bull. It was built on garbage. It was built on less than. It was built on harm and abuse and lies and all these other things. So of course it's not going to last. And it can only last if we continue giving life to it. And it was already dead. It was very much Weekend at Bernie's. That whole entire thought process of, do we just have to accept this? We just have, because at least it's a warm body and at least it's somebody that loves us. And I went through a bad marriage and horrible relationships up until this point to realize that that's not enough. That's garbage, actually. That's stupid. I don't deserve that. No.